Without two of their best players, do the Raptors still have enough to push for a play-in spot? And is the WNBA finally coming to Toronto? Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Raptors. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Ryan Wolstat of the Toronto SUN. And Ryan, the Raptors, of course, missing a couple of their best players right now, Scottie Barnes and Jakob, both dealing with hand injuries or finger injuries, if you will. But the Raptors still, keeping themselves in it as far as the play-in spots go. What do you think their chances are of actually getting into the tournament?
Well, I'd say pretty remote. If they were in the Western Conference, the season would be officially over now. They're in the East, so there's always a glimmer of hope because Atlanta's run into some injury problems. The Nets just shut down Ben Simmons, not like he was doing too much, but I mean, they've had some changes, a coaching change. So it's not like they're chasing world beaters, but I just think the gap now is a little bit too much with around like 20 games or whatever left, like 5-6 games. I just don't see without Barnes, probably without Poeltl, like why would you rush either back? I can't imagine either play again this year. You're relying pretty heavily on Kelly Olynyk at center, and you've already traded Siakam and OG, and it's just not a lot left. You're putting a ton of everything really on Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, guys like that. I just don't think they'll be up for that challenge. I mean, we just saw them get absolutely humiliated by 41 points by the Pelicans, and New Orleans really, their third stringers could be starting at this point on the Raptors. So I think it's too far gone. And, I know a few weeks ago I was saying go for the play-in, but now it's just, there's no point. Just, you got to hope that you get some lottery luck and maybe move up and keep the draft pick instead of sending it to the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, without those two guys, a lot of other players are going to get some opportunity here. You mentioned Kelly Olynyk, but I'm curious, give me one or two guys that you're going to be really interested to watch during this stretch with more opportunity on the floor.
I think the one guy I mentioned is Quickly, like he's going to be the real, the engine of everything, and you'll get a real opportunity to see, is he up for the challenge? He's a restricted free agent. It'll be, kind of fascinating to see if someone tries to poach him from the Raptors. They're not going to let him go. They can match any contract, but it'll be interesting to see if someone makes some crazy offer to him, or he's kind of has to justify, like if he plays well here, he's going to get he's getting a lot either way, but if he plays really well, then it's going to be an even bigger contract. So that'll be interesting just to see how he can handle the workload without a ton of help. I mentioned Barrett as well. I'm interested to see if he can keep it up. He's played way better as a Raptor than he ever has before. So now he's the guy who's going to be number one on the scouting report, him and Quickly. So how will he respond? And then some of the younger guys, Ochai Agbaji, who was acquired with Olynyk in the trade with Utah. He's got a lot of promise. He was the 14th pick. He was the most outstanding player of the Final Four when he won at Kansas. Like they have some ups. They believe in him. They like him, and now he's going to get a bigger role, assuming the injury he picked up the other day isn't too serious. So that's another guy. Then they're going to sign probably some players here or there. There's one, I think it's Jamarius Ramsey, who's in the G League, a really interesting kind of combo guard who looks like he can do a lot of things well. Was killing it in the G League. And then DJ Canton, I apologize to him. I just can't get it straight. I believe it's Carton. He looks interesting in a few minutes. And so someone like that, but it's really is slim pickings. And I kind of feel bad for season ticket holders because it's going to be ugly, and there's not a ton to look for. Like in the past, maybe there was, I guess there's Grady Dick too, but it's not like he's like super flashy, but yeah, there's not a lot to look forward to the rest of the way, unfortunately.
That's okay. There's too many new faces with this Raptors team. There's been a lot of turnover in the last couple of months, to say the least. Finally, there was a report the other day that minority owner of MLSE and chairman Larry Tannenbaum is going to try to bring the WNBA to Toronto on his own without MLSE support. And former Toronto Raptors exec Teresa Resch is going to be the one leading the charge. What do you think about that report that came out?
It wasn't that surprising to me after kind of the Gong show that happened. It's been reported elsewhere that Edward Rogers he's no fan of Masai Ujiri, and he's I don't know if he's a big fan of women's sports or if he just doesn't think it's going to be profitable, but he shut down. They were pretty close to landing a WNBA team last year, and he shut it down. And the dynamics are really fascinating to me between Tannenbaum and Rogers. Unfortunately, it's been reported that Tannenbaum had a deal when Rogers and Bell bought a a lot of the stake of MLSE from the teachers' pension plan, and Tannenbaum kept his back in the day, that eventually he'd be selling, and they'd, I guess, be the co-owners. So that's not going to be good for sports fans when you have Edward Rogers running everything. Like, Larry Tannenbaum's kind of a heart and soul sports lover, and money isn't always the bottom line, unlike with many owners. Like, he does things because he wants to see them grow. So I think this WNBA thing is something that he's very passionate about, and it's good that he's stepping up to do it. And Teresa Resch seems like a logical person for sure. She did a lot of the business sort of stuff for the Raptors. She was heavily involved in the logistics of bringing the All-Star game here back in 2016. She was the lead driver, by all accounts, of getting the OVO Center. Back then it was the BioSteel Center, up and running and designed and all that stuff. So I think seems like the right person for that job. So it's a good thing. And we'll just see how long it takes before the WNBA comes to Toronto.
There's a lot of hype surrounding the WNBA, of course, with the hype of Caitlin Clark set to join. So maybe that'll drive up ticket interest down the road if the Raptors, or sorry, if Toronto eventually gets a WNBA team to join the Toronto Raptors in the NBA. As always, you can leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Ryan Wolstat, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.